Hey, paisanos! It's the Super Markup Brothers Super Show! Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. We're the Market Up Brothers, in charging a game. If you can't afford Switch 2, then that's just a shame. If your wallet's in trouble, then expect the price to double. We're greedy like the others, but you lick it up, you suckers! Cha-ching! Well, sweet summer consumer, if you were hoping to be one of the lucky few to pre-order a Nintendo Switch 2 this Wednesday, I got bad news for you. The only thing you're going to be able to celebrate on April 9th is Winston Churchill Day.
Never in the field of digital distribution has so much been charged by so few for gains so old. In a word, suck my cocky dog.
We'll get into why in a bit. Per your request in the comments on our new second YouTube channel, thanks for nuking VODs, Twitch, I figured I'd weigh in on this Switch 2 hullabaloo. So, Nintendo finally did it. They solved the mystery of how to make their next console more expensive than your childhood trauma, but fittingly still make it feel like it's made of the same cheap, oily plastic they used to make Happy Meal toys. You know, like that creepy 1990s Inspector Gadget toy where the limbs popped off and you had to assemble them like some kind of Frankenstein choking hazard. Go, go, Gadget body horror! It taught you about disappointment and anatomy. The two are so often intrinsically linked. The Nintendo Switch 2 is coming, folks. Base model, $450. With Mario Kart World bundled in, $500. Don't forget tax.
Not enough cash. Responsible adult.
A digital copy, by the way. Nothing physical.
Let's keep this professional. No touching.
Just the privilege of owning ones and zeros locked to your account until the heat death of the universe. Or until Nintendo decides to pull the plug because of a YouTube video you posted in 2018. Mario Kart World, which, by the way, is $80 solo. Comes bundled digitally if you throw in that extra $50. So that's like a free hamburger with the purchase of a $500 Big Mac wrapper. Or better yet, it's like getting a stick of lettuce-flavored gum after buying a salad made entirely of croutons. You technically got something extra, but it mostly just makes your mouth sad. The same kind of sad you felt when you got a Happy Meal toy that looked fun on the box but turned out to be the soundtrack to your parents' divorce.
Oh, but don't worry. Nintendo has you covered with their new mortgage program. Switch your house for a console. Oh, no.
Grab your responsibly sourced ground Goomba, because here's where things really start to cook. That $70 price tag for Metroid Prime 4 and Donkey Kong Bonanza, it's entirely possible that's going to be the standard moving forward. I really hate it when my own cruel jokes come true. Mark my words, the $100 AAA game as a standard is coming. Welcome to the new pricing hellscape, where $70 is the new normal, and you get to pay premium for the privilege of unlocking Samus's tragic past one silent head tilt at a time. Look, I like what I'm seeing with the Switch 2's design. Finally, a Nintendo Switch that doesn't look like it was 3D printed while Jack Black was trying to get in shape for the Minecraft movie. Jack Black doesn't need a script, just give him a mic. He's here to yell and rock out like a motherfucking knight. Should I stop becoming a cheap parody of myself for quick paychecks? Bigger screen, better internals, actually decent wireless chipsets this time? Maybe? Maybe they won't even blame you for having an aquarium in your house. Stupid house aquarium having ass. The kind of improvements that suggest Nintendo finally discovered what year it is. HD graphics, that'll never catch on. But this pricing, this rollout, this PR strategy so botched it makes Fallout 76's canvas bag incident look like a TED Talk. Nintendo didn't just fumble the ball. They set it on fire, dropped it in a tar pit, and asked us to pre-order the carbonized remains. Nintendo's pricing plan feels like it was drafted on the back of a napkin while high on their own supply. So I guess the smart move is to own the digital version. You'll still own it in the same way you still own those iTunes movies movies that disappeared when the licensing expired. Oh no! Let's rewind to Nintendo's most recent Treehouse stream, which, if you were in the live chat, was an avalanche of "drop the price!" It was like watching the citizens of Pompeii yell at the volcano. It was less of a gameplay demo and more of a hostage negotiation. Look at this guy, though. Raise the price! A king amongst peasants. I like this guy. Now, about those pre-orders. Nintendo just delayed the pre-order window. I think it's pretty obvious this was influenced heavily by tariff concerns. Yes, those tariffs. Now, we are not gonna get political here. Hey, it worked for Zachel Regler, because human beings have long lost the ability to agree to disagree without going scorched earth Omega level dickhead on each other, declaring each other history's greatest monsters and grand displays of borderline personality disorder that would make Sephiroth blush. Because we're grown-ups here that can hear the word tariff without turning the comment section into a fun poison oozing ass pimple. Let's just say there's no joy to be had when geopolitics meet Joy-Cons. There's gonna be a hefty price from now on importing anything from the Mushroom Kingdom. At least as of right now, the release date remains untouched, June 5th, 2025. Maybe this isn't all Nintendo's fault. The economy's a disaster, the international market is volatile, and trying to build tech in this mess is like trying to cook a souffle at a Black Dahlia murder concert. The delay makes sense if Nintendo's trying to restructure how or where the consoles are sourced or assembled to dodge tariff hikes. And you know what? That's smart. That's nice. But the silence is not, because while they're off doing that, the internet is busy running wild, doing what it does best, eating itself. Their PR team's response to the entire situation has been the usual Nintendo classic: a confident, zen-like nothing. This is the same company that thought the Wii U's name was clear branding. The same company that told us Joy-Con drift wasn't real until a class action lawsuit started breathing down their necks. I'm telling you, it's that aquarium you got there, you dumb baby boo-boo bear. Nintendo has a long, rich tradition of communicating with their customers via cryptic silence and confused grunts. Let's do a quick info dump. Here's what we do know. Base console is $450. Mario Kart World bundle is $500, digital copy only. Mario Kart World is $80 solo. Metroid Prime 4 is $70. Donkey Kong Bonanza will be $70. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, where you explore an enormous Nintendo Switch 2 like a fungus gnat. Free with the console. Just kidding, $10. Joy-Cons, $90. Pro Controller, $80. Joy-Con 2 Charging Grip, $35. The Switch 2 Internet Pervert Camcorder, $50. A replacement dock after you sit on the first one will cost you $110. Switch 2 Carrying Case and Screen Protector, $35. Switch 2 AC Adapter, which is just a USB-C wall cube and a cord, both of which you could get for under $15 on Amazon, $30. And finally, the Nintendo Switch 2 Cardboard Home Dock, $90. Comes with a free squirrel skull full of rainwater and a plastic shiv made from a Joy-Con. Public reaction is ranging from mildly disappointed to Molotov cocktail emoji. And again, I like the hardware. Seriously, this is a major step up from the original Switch, which looked like a prototype Fisher-Price tablet and had Wi-Fi performance that could be outpaced by smoke signals. The new Switch 2 actually looks good. It's something we want, because I do this for a living. Thanks to your superhuman generosity and support. It's something I actually kind of need. And listen, maybe some of these prices makes sense. Mario Kart World clearly has a massive open world map with actual exploration between tracks. Oh man, I hope the rumors that there aren't any laps aren't true. It's just so satisfying to master a track, you know, and get it all perky. So maybe that would justify an extra $20. $10 would be a little more comfortable. All joking aside, in the interest of being fair, probably worth mentioning that the original Switch dropped at $300. That was 2017. Almost a decade later, $150 price increase it's not that insane. I think for most people, it's the advent of $70 games as a new standard, and in some cases, $80. That's what's really chafing people's ham flowers. Natural inflation, new tech prices, FOMO, tariffs, and the economy being in shambles have created the perfect powder keg storm of consumer fist shaking. But it doesn't change the optics of it all. Also, let's address the anthropomorphic elephant in the comments section. The Nintendoids. The guys who would gladly pay $50 for a Mario-branded HDMI cable if it came in a red box and screamed "Woohoo!" when plugged in.
I'll buy the Switch 2 at a high price.
Look, we get it, you're committed. But blind loyalty doesn't help anyone. Just ask these guys. Especially not the rest of us trying to hold companies accountable while hopefully securing a unit for our very silly robot-themed channel. They got robots on this channel? I don't watch none of them videos. I'm not saying don't buy it. We're probably gonna try to buy it? Kinda have to? We are a part of this circus. It'd just be nice if the anthropomorphic elephant scat could be cleaned out of the tent before we clown around inside it. And if you can't write off the purchase of a Nintendo Switch 2 as a Twitch or YouTube business expense, I totally get taking a hard pass on it. So what's next? Well, unless Nintendo changes course, we're probably looking at a launch plagued with confusion, anger, and a scalper market hotter than Bowser's undercarriage after a lap through Grumble Volcano.
More like Grundle Volcano.
And the sad thing is, it didn't have to be this way. A launch with actual pricing details instead of avoiding it like everyone's favorite sexual predator would have been nice. Instead, you left all your customers out in the cold to go look at the bad news all on their own. So yeah, I'm hyped for this system itself. It looks awesome. I just wish it wasn't presented as a question mark box that we had to bonk on our own to find a heaping helping of financial dread inside. It's really unfortunate that most people have the bad habits of needing food and shelter. Good one, Jamie. Anyway, I suppose that's about it. If you need me, I'll be here melting down Happy Meal toys to make my own Switch 2. Subscribe if your rent is lower than the price of a Switch 2 bundle. Also, it'd be super cool if you subscribe to our new second channel where we archive all of our Twitch adventures. Until next time, I'm Editorial Rikk for Robot Co-op. Thank you for your time and rock out with your cog out.
Bounce those checks from side to side. It's time to go do the Mario.